Good Monday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update. It is the first day of September, first trading day of September. It is the 2nd of September, and let's just have a recap on what happened last week. We saw Friday closing above the previous, cancelling this bearish engulfing here on the daily chart, but it didn't perform a new all-time high. However, on the weekly chart, as you can see here, it actually closed on the week higher than ever. So that is something to have a note of and keep an eye on the next couple of days. Also, monthly chart also closed higher, highest close ever actually. So a little bit of divergence picture here, but I think we could see S&P pushing higher in the coming days. Not tonight though. US is closed tonight, so it will be Tuesday. Moving on to Nasdaq, which tells you a different story. Still struggling for upside momentum. Still have this top and reversal pattern in place. If it does break above that and closes above it, well, then it's cancelled, and then we can see the resistance here at 20,211 being tested. We'll talk more about that tomorrow when US will be open, so I'll probably repeat myself tomorrow. Here we have the weekly still in top and reversal potential, but it hasn't reversed the trends. On the EUROSTOXX 50, interesting candle Friday, kind of a shooting star-like pattern really, but we are in a bullish trend. There's positive sentiment. We should push higher, so I would be a little bit reluctant to say this is a top and reversal, but it could be short-term, just a little bit correction, because we do have 100 moving average and 55 moving average turning around and now being in a rising position, combined with the 21 and the 200 moving average. So it seems like we are going to have EUROSTOXX 50 pushing higher in the coming weeks. We have DAX that actually closed at an all-time high last week. Now testing minor support at 18,779. You can also argue this is a little bit of shooting star. It should be higher on the shadow of the wick here, but nevertheless, expect a little bit of a correction, possibly below 18, down to around 18,600 maybe, around that level. We are still in a positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating we are likely to see higher levels on DAX. Amsterdam index, positive sentiment, as you can see, just needs to close above 927. A strong resistance, and I think it could be tested here during this week. So let's see about that. If it does close above, well, then the new all-time high is probably in the cards. If we can get the 55 moving average to turn around, also, then we have all of them rising, supporting the bullish view on Amsterdam. Also, we have CAC40. Didn't move all the way up to 77.25, which is the strong resistance. I don't think it even touched 7,700. No, it didn't. And I think now we can have a little bit of correction down to around 7,500, but we are in a positive trend, bullish trend, positive sentiment. I think we can have this resistance here tested possibly later this week and maybe next week. And the Swiss market, finally, we have... it actually did close a new all-time high close Friday, so expect a little bit of correction for now. Let's remove this one and also remove this one. I think we could see a little bit of correction down to possibly 12,300, maybe even 12,250, but I don't think this minor support here will be tested. We are in a strong uptrend, positive sentiment, no divergence. We should see Swiss market pushing higher in the coming days, but expect a little bit of a correction. On the FX market, we have the correction ongoing in euro-dollar, and you can see how it developed. We talked about it during last week's updates. Testing the support at 110.47, spike just below, and touched the 38.2 retracement here at 110.40, and now bouncing If it bounces, then well, we are in an uptrend. There is a little bit of divergence on the RSI that should be cancelled out, but let's see. I think we could bounce a little bit further here the next couple of days towards 111.25.40 maybe. If it takes out the lows today at 110.41, 110.40, then expect the correction to continue down to around 109.50, 109.40 in this area here. On the Euro sterling, bouncing from 84, just spot on. I think it's just spot on. 84. Expect a correction that is likely to take it a bit higher, and we can either measure it from here and see, okay, where could we possibly move to. We could see a correction up to around 84, 85, or from the last leg down. Also, we have the 61 also just around 84.90. So in this region here, I think we'll see a bounce on the euro sterling if it closes back above 40 threshold and also back above this falling trend line. I think that picture will scenario will play out. If it takes out 84, then expect a push towards 83.5. Cable, there we are. Also correction ongoing, no divergence on the RSI, so expect the bulls to come back in, but I think we could see a correction down to the 38.2, retracement at 130.35 in this region here, and then we'll see a push higher. And as we have talked about so many times, it is in a bullish trend also on the weekly, no divergence on the RSI, likely to push higher above key resistance levels. So we are just in a correction mode as it looks now, at least. On dollar yen, bounced off the 786 retracement, pushing higher, and I think it will reach 61.8 retracement, 147.12 possibly today. Could push all the way up to 786 retracement at 148.12 level here. Key strong resistance 149.40. Not quite sure we will get there at the moment, but let's see. That would be really key. But I think we will see the 147.12 to be tested possibly later today. Also, euro yen bounced off the 160.55, never closed below, so it dipped below a couple of times, and I think we could see a test of the 164 key resistance if it does break above that. And I think a break, I don't think we need a close above then, but if that would be even stronger signal, then there's potential up to 167.5, 168. And of course, for resuming downtrend, it needs to take out the low here at 160 that it needs to look at. Aussie yen, also a bit of a bounce, has now built an uptrend. You will see higher high, higher low, higher high, and if it does close and break and close above 99.90, and RSI closes above 60 threshold, then expect a push towards 102.5, 103.10 level in this region here, where we have the 55 coming down, we have the 100 moving average coming down. So I think that would be it. For euro yen to turn to a bearish trend, it really needs to, and let's just move it up there. That's the level, 97.25. Sterling yen breaking higher here, taking out the resistance at 192. It tried several times, but this time seems like it means business. So push towards the 786 retracement, 195.33, possibly all the way up to this region here around 197.5, maybe even higher. But the 55 moving average and the 100 moving average kind of putting a lid on it. So don't expect it to break that, at least not at first take. But a push up to the 195.35 level, I do believe we will see. Key will be what will RSI do when it reaches 60 threshold. If it takes out, and let's just adjust this one a little bit to make sure, 188.93, 188.90. If it takes out that, well, then we are back in bearish trend. Aussie dollar still in correction phase, but hasn't closed below 67.60, and that will be key. If it does that, well, then we are looking at low levels around 67, possibly lower, but that would be key. Other than that, we are still in a bullish trend. It's just a bit of a correction, so let's see here the next couple of days. Dollar Canada Also a bounce. Canada actually bounced all the way up to the 38.2 retracement of the entire downtrend there at 136.35. Highly debatable. We have a strong resistance here at the 200 moving average, just below 136. You can see how it also was a support, bounced a little bit, and then it went straight through. I think we could get up there, but we are in a negative sentiment. There's no divergence on the RSI, but as we talked about last week, if we zoom out, you can see this is also RSI was down here at just above 20 when market turned around. So let's see if that will also be the case this time around. But I think we will see at least a push higher. If it takes out 134.40, well, then expect lower levels on dollar Canada. Euro Swiss bounces from the 61.8 retracement at 93.55. How big of a bounce? Well, if it takes out the lows and take out the 61.8 retracement here at 93.55, then I expect a push down to the 786 retracement at 92.90. And if we are asking the RSI, it is possible because there is no divergence on the RSI, still in a negative sentiment. But let's see that. I won't call it until we see a break below the lows here from the other day, and RSI below the rising trend line there. For now, expect a little bit of correction, and we can also use a Fibonacci retracement to try to indicate how far. Well, at least to the 38.2 retracement here at 94.50, but potential up to the 61.8 at 94, well, 95 in reality. Dollar Swiss bounced off the 84, basically spot on there also, and I think the 38.2 retracement at 85.33 is likely to be reached, but there's potential up to 86.15 and 61.8 retracement, and that's what it is with FX. They usually retrace 61.8, but sometimes also all the way up to 786 retracement. Not all the time, but very often. Rarely 50%, but it does happen. But it is fairly rare. We have the dollar index above the just around the 38.2 retracement, could push all the way up to 102.25. But again, look at what your dollar is doing. So that could be a bit of a guide. For now, we are selling it back a little bit. So that will be a little bit of an unusual move here. But there is potential up to 102.25. Still not much going on in gold spot. It's just basically trading sideways. Still keeping itself of 24.84 support, but this is the one I will keep an eye on. It could dip down below the support, but if it takes out 24.70, then expect a correction lower. And we talked about this was long now. I think the lower rising trend line could be tested and the 55 moving average, but it will still be in overall an uptrend, just a corrective phase, but struggling at the moment. It really needs to take out its previous all-time highs, these peaks here, and let's just add a little bit of this horizontal line. You can see where it is, 25.32. Silver, on the other hand, are they the leading indicator here? I don't know, but for now it has dipped below the support at 28.78 and has retraced 50% of this bouncing uptrend here. Should drop to 61.8 at 27.87, but let's see. For now, it is trying to get back above the this now resistance at 28.78. So let's see about that. I think we will have a correction down to at least this level here, and then we could see a bounce. But as you can see, 55 moving average is very close to moving below the 100 moving average, and if they're both declining when that occurs, then it's not good for silver bulls. Copper struggling for upside momentum in this range here around 420, 422. I mean, it is in a bullish trend, but it's not confirmed by the RSI that still didn't close above 60 threshold. If it takes out 412.70, expect copper to drop to around 400, maybe even lower, and test this falling trend line here in this channel-like pattern. It really needs to take out 431.85 to the upside for a push towards 453. And I think I have been singing this song about the crude oil for quite some time, but if there are new viewers and listeners, WTI and Brent crude oil, they are forming these triangle-like patterns here, as you can see. But it seems like the lows here on the daily, they are getting lower and lower. I think we will have a bearish breakout of this triangle here, but I need confirmation, and I need confirmation on the RSI. But look out for 71.67, and Brent, basically same picture here, right? Lower lows, you can see lower low, lower low, lower low all the way, and a little bit higher high. So they are also boxed in a little bit, forming a kind of a triangular pattern here, so it's still likely we could see the bearish picture playing out on crude oil. Finally, on the US 10-year Treasury yield, has been at the corrective pennant or flag-like here, has bounced from the 379 key support, dipped below a couple of times, and now we can actually see it is moving around the 61.8 retracement at 392. Could push up to the peak here at 4%, but let's see in the next couple of days. I think we'll push a little bit higher. I'm not quite sure RSI will move above 60 threshold, so I think maybe a little bit higher, and then we'll see it sliding back lower. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and happy trading.